guys, I hope everybody had a good day. It's black here now. It is now starting to storm, so hopefully you are not in the thick of that. I am Dr. Heather Moore, owner of Total Performance Physical Therapy. Tonight we're going to talk about managing pain during long car rides. So as we are currently shooting this video, it is summer and we are in the middle of COVID. So there's a lot of people driving an hour, 2 hours, not tons of long distances, but they are driving a little bit more. Flying is not necessarily an option for some people. So we're seeing an uptick in people coming in a little bit stiffer, a little bit sore because of long car rides. So what can you do? How do you manage the pain? How can you prevent the pain from starting? So one of the first things when we talk about the car is you want to make sure that you have the proper car set up. So this is a tough and tricky situation because every car is different. So some have 57 levers and this and that to adjust correctly, and then some have nothing. So you want to make sure that you are not driving back here. So you don't want to be reaching for the steering wheel. All right, if you watch me drive, I'm a little like driving Miss Daisy, but you want your arms to be here, okay? So yes, that's probably like the 10 and 2. We all made fun of them in high school. That's where you want to be. You want to have a nice bend in your elbows. You don't want to be slouched forward like this. You don't want to be down here like this. All of this arm position dictates where your head's going to go, where your low back is going to go. So you can't be here, driving down here and have really good posture. That's not going to happen because your arm's just slowly going to pull you down and you're just going to wind up like this. You could do it for a couple minutes while you're thinking about it, but then eventually you're going to shrink like that. So you want to make sure you're here and you're leaned back a little bit. You're not back here. You don't want to be sitting straight up and down. You want to have some of your weight going into the seat behind you. You want to have your head rested on the headrest if possible. If not, don't worry about it. If you have like a ponytail in, like I do 90% of my life, headrests are not really conducive. So you want to angle that headrest so that it's actually out of the way. So you don't want it right behind your head, and then if you have a ponytail, then you're jutting forward like this. That's the biggest mistake I see with headrests in cars, is a lot of people are like this because they allow the headrest to push them forward. A lot of headrests these days have just the adjustment where you basically just raise them up and get them out of the way. There's no real need to have it if you're back here, and that's going to push your neck forward. So be careful of the headrest. It is generally not your friend. Most of them are very stiff, and they really do cause you to jut forward. So you want your back to be a little bit back. Now there's always like a lumbar adjustment. Well, not always, but a lot of times there can be a lumbar adjustment in the car. They're 90% garbage. Why? Because they're not meant for you. They are designed, I think somebody told me once, for like a 5'7" male. I don't know the exact specifications, but that's not where your lumbar spine is. It's very rare that your lumbar spine is right where that lumbar bar or whatever it is, support is. So if you need to bring a rolled up towel and you're going on a long car trip, you bring a rolled up towel. You bring a lumbar pillow so you can have some support back there. Do not rely on the lumbar support in your car. If you're one of the lucky few that actually is where your lumbar spine is, and your lumbar spine is here, it's not down at your butt, it's not all the way up here. Most of the time, you're going to find that it's below you and it's pushing you forward. Either way, it's going to push you forward. It's got to be right in that sweet spot, right above your hips. When it's not there, that's when you get into trouble, because then you are winding up actually herniating your discs because that lumbar support is putting you in such an awkward position. So if you feel that when you lean back, you're really starting to slump, which most people will because the back of the car seat is flat, just roll up a towel and gently stick it behind your back. This is not supposed to be uncomfortable. This is not supposed to be something where you're jutting all the way forward. It's just supposed to be a nice little roll so that you're not all slumped over. Now, where should your foot position be? You want your foot position to be here. So, however you are able to adjust your seat. You don't want to be reaching A lot of times people will report numbness and tingling as they're driving, so you don't really want to be reaching for the pedal. You want it to be a comfortable height. So if your hands are here, you're probably going to be right about here where the pedal needs to be. You wind up in trouble when your hands are back here, you're back here, and then you're really reaching for that pedal. Again, when you're talking about a 5 or 10 minute ride, you probably don't notice any of this. When it gets to be 45 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, and you suffer from neck pain, back pain, leg pain, hip pain, numbness and tingling, any of it, all of it, this stuff is what really makes the difference. Now this leg can be wherever you want it to be. Unless you have a manual car, then you've got to have it basically the same space or the same distance as your right leg. All right, so those are kind of how you should set up your car. Quick tips. So it is important that you make sure that before you go on any car trip that your seat is set up correctly to give you the best chance of actually having some relief. Now, when you go on long car trips, you should really plan on taking breaks. If you suffer from back pain, you should plan on stopping. And you should not plan on stopping when your back hurts. Because by then, the process has started. By then, it is already inflamed, whatever it is, your back, your neck, your hip. If you feel pain, the inflammatory process has started. So you want to stop driving before that hits. So it may take a little bit of experiment, and I understand that, but pay attention. If you know that an hour into driving, you start to feel uncomfortable, stop at 45 minutes. Just get up, walk around the car, reset everything, get back in. You don't have to make a 20-minute break out of it. But at least get out of your car, move around. It's going to hold off that inflammatory process a little bit longer. Now, once you get back in, it doesn't reset. You don't get an extra 55 minutes. You're going to get a little bit less time each time. So you don't have to stop every time, but you really want to hold off on that inflammatory process starting as long as you possibly can. I hope that makes sense. So if you know you are going to start getting pain at 55 minutes, stop at 45 minutes. That pain will probably come on maybe 20, 30, 40 minutes later. And that's when the inflammatory process will start. Then we're going to start to manage it. So what do we do to manage that pain? Unfortunately, there's a whole lot of reasons why driving is bad. We're not going to get into those things. So it's really hard to eliminate pain once it starts when you're driving. So we're just going to kind of show you things you can do to manage it. The things I'm going to show you, you want to make sure that you do before the pain starts. So this is not something that you start the minute you feel uncomfortable. These are things you start to do 15, 20 minutes into the ride. So the first thing you're going to do is you're actually going to do what we call pelvic tilt. So you're going to sit up nice and straight, and then you're going to slump back. You're probably going to feel a stretch as you slump back, maybe a stretch as you come forward. But you want to go nice and easy. Again, it's allowing your body to get some blood flow into the muscles. One of the reasons that you get so sore and so stiff when you're driving is because you don't move. I mean, you might do a little of this or a little of that, but there's no movement. So you want to keep your drive as active as you can. So just drop and roll, nice and easy. And again, try to do this prior to anything actually hurting. So this will change your posture a little bit, but that's okay because at least you're going to be getting some blood to the muscles. And there's no real set time for that, just a couple minutes, nice and slow. You can do it as long as you want, as little as you want. I wouldn't say anything less than 2 minutes. At least every 15 to 20 minutes, you're just allowing that spine a little bit of breathing room. The next thing you can do when you're driving is you just want to roll your shoulders up, back, and drop them down. So as you're driving like this, a lot of times your shoulders are going to be up like this. So you want to make sure that you are relaxing your shoulders, all right, nice and easy. The next exercise that you can do when you're at a stoplight, if you get a chance, is you can do that figure 4 stretch. All right, so you're just going to bring your leg up. If you're stopped, just put your foot on the brake, just bring your knee up, and then lean forward. Okay, put your left foot on the brake, bring your right leg up, and lean forward. This is a quick one you can do even if you stop for a minute at a rest stop. Get out, nice and easy. Do this, okay? Lean forward. The next thing you can do is you want to point and flex your toe. Again, this is maybe when you're in cruise control, you pop that on for a minute, and just nice and easy, bend, straighten your leg, and then point and flex your toe. Nothing crazy. Again, you're driving, so you don't want to do these for 5 minutes at a time, unless you're sitting in the light and you're like, oh my gosh, you're stuck in traffic. Then you can do this as much as you want. But if you're just driving, every couple seconds, you can kind of do a little of this. Just lift your foot off the pedal, pump right above the pedal, so you get that blood flow. The whole name of the game is getting blood flow and keeping blood flow. Putting your leg like this and holding it there, no matter how good the posture is going to have a negative impact on your body. It's going to hurt. It's not going to feel good. After 15 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour, I don't care what shape you're in, having your foot out here is not going to feel good. So you want to make sure that you are moving it up and down. You're kind of pumping that ankle a little bit. This leg, if you're able to, you actually could put this up on your seat for a minute. That's going to allow a back stretch. Now obviously you're not going to be able to do it with your right leg, but you can definitely recenter yourself, put this foot up on the seat just for a minute or two. Again, it's putting that back in a little bit of a stretch position. This is actually an exercise we do. It's called single knee to chest. But it'll allow you to get that foot and that leg in a different position, taking some of that pressure off the spine. So that is one way. Now, obviously, if you're at a light or you're stopped, then you can bring this one up, but because you're driving, that's a little bit more difficult. The name of the game when you're driving is taking as many breaks as you can. And I know there's an hour car ride or 2 hour car ride. Some people just say, I'm not doing it, I'm going straight through. And that's totally fine. Just make sure that anytime you're driving and you know you get stiff or sore, that you try and just start these exercises straight from the get-go. So you're able to relax, you're able to stop that inflammatory process from starting. The final exercise you can do is just a simple rotation. So your hands are here, and you're just rotating. Nice and easy. And again, these are simple movements, but it's stimulating blood to flow to the muscles. When you feel stiff, when you feel sore, most often the reason is because your muscles haven't had any stimulation. They haven't had a lot of blood flowing to them. So you want them to just be able to move. So as you're driving down, you can start to rotate your shoulders. Nice and easy. Again, if you're at the traffic light, you can go a little bit bigger and turn this way. A couple turns. If you're stuck in traffic, you can do some turns like that. But don't just get yourselves caught in this zoning out and driving for an hour because you're asking for trouble. And if you already have back pain while you drive, this is only going to make it worse. And no, it doesn't go away. It just winds up you just wind up compensating until the next time when you can't even drive 45 minutes before the pain comes on. If you are experiencing any type of pain and you want a free consultation with a doctor of physical therapy, all you have to do is call our office at 215-997-9898 and we'd be happy to help you. Thanks and have a good night.